I get a lot of questions, emails about valves. Well, guys don't know how to fix, lighters, and ask me. This is going to have to, listen, I'm just going to refer to this video. Anybody, you ever ask me a question, you're just going to pay attention to this, because, listen guys, all lighters are different, unless you got the same brand. Alright? I'm going to go over this a little bit, and I'm going to try to, hopefully, clear some things up. But, guys, this is just something I learned by just digging into it, finding out for myself. I've had lighters that, guys, I got lighters. Let me back up here a minute. I got lighters that are just sitting around in here. Some of them I don't even work on. Alright, I don't even freaking work on them. I don't mess with them because the simple fact that what I would get out of them, compared to the time that I would put into them, isn't really worth the while of messing with it. And I got more. I got around 40 more over there on my bed behind me. 30, 40 more. Alright, so, see anything here? Take a look. I might have a part for you. I want you to take a look here. Alright, that there is a pipe lighter. I got one of them for sale today, actually. That's the insides to it. Then we got all these different types of lighters. Alright. Now, the only difference in some of these is they all kind of work the same way. I'm going to kind of go through it. Some of them are a little bit different. I don't come across the real different ones very often. But some of them work basically the same way. They just kind of, they have a sponge, and they have let's see, a flame control adjustment that squeezes the sponge, all right, and allows the controls the flow of the gas, butane gas, whatnot, But anyway, you see lighters here, guys. I mean, like I said, you're better off. I got a part, I'll sell it to you. If you need a part. I'm sure I can fix these here up and sell them, but to be honest with you, I just keep them for parts. This one here, they ain't that great a shape. I mean, they'll work. They don't have to be pretty to work if you want to carry around lighter, but unless I can get enough money out of it for my time, I don't mess with it. I just don't mess with, like this lighter here. This was a nice looking lighter. Alright. Really was. As a matter of fact, let me dig into that and see if I can show you what the system is in that. Because I see I got it out, but I don't know exactly what it is. See, I keep these too Like if you got a lighter like this and the case is on yours isn't any good, mine's real nice shape. You see what I'm saying? So I keep them in plastic bags because I sell a case to them as well. Okay. All right. Well, we might as well start out with this here, with this valve system here. All right, let me look inside this to see what type of valve. Well, it looks like there's definitely a sponge down in there. Okay, guys, most of your lighters, you know, say for instance, let's take for example your IM Corona old boys. I'm just going to start there. They all got a brass tube from the very bottom, where their filler valve flame, or where the flame adjustment is, all the way to the top. But inside here, it's at some point, usually closer to the top side here, there's a soldered in orifice. What that orifice does, it just basically shrinks down the inside of that tube and just gives you about half a millimeter hole. And let me see if I could draw. I'm not a very good drawer, but let's just say, for instance, this is the pipe that goes inside, or the inside your lighter, like your tank of your lighter. All right. Usually these types are in metal tanks. Okay. You get these valves like this. They're usually in plastic tanks. Okay. All right. Now, here you have your flame adjustment side right here. Then you have your burner side here, and usually this side here has like a little let's just say here, like here, has a little valve. All right, this one here pulls out. Sometimes some of them are they're sprung where you got to pull them out. Sometimes, all depending on the lighter itself, they're sprung out. Then when you close the cap's got a little recess inside of it with a little stopper on to push it down. That's going to vary, all depending. Let me zoom in here a minute. Okay, say for instance on an IM Corona old boy, because it's got a metal tank. Okay, right here you got a burner. And what it's got a little valve. Let's see. It's got a little valve in there, you know, a little pipe valve. All right. That screws in the top of here. Now, inside of this here, see how this is sprung up? Inside of these, here, there's a little stopper on the inside. And I usually, now listen, I rebuild these if I can. But if you can't get them apart, because you really don't want to be pulling on this little pipe, you understand? If anything, open it up, hold it open, and blow some butane through there just to maybe possibly clean anything out if it leaks a little bit. But I'm getting ahead of myself here. I'm leading down a rabbit trail here. Well, in this here little, in this, say for instance, this old boy, it's going to have a soldered in plate in it, in the tube, and in the middle of it there's going to be a little orifice inside it, and that orifice, okay, for lack of a better word, well, it is an orifice, is going to have a raised a little bit, and that hole goes, this is the hole right here that goes all the way through here. All right. Now what happens is that when you take out the top part of that valve, okay, when you take out the top part of this valve, you screw it on, you get everything put back. Now there's a little stopper on the end of this. Let me see if I could, this one might have it in it. It might not. Let me see. Okay. Let me see here what I got. Okay, this'll work. See how this valve moves up and down? There's a stopper on it right there. Well, that stopper will plug that hole up, keep gas from coming through the top. Because once this here opens up, okay, it lets gas pass the stopper, and the gas goes through a hole. There's a hole right in this valve right here. And once it comes up through the orifice, around through a hole here, and shoots out the top here. All right, that's how that works. Like I said, a lot of lighters are like that, except some people just go the hard route, you know. But I am Corona Old Boys. It's a simple design, and when it comes to butane lighters, guys, the simpler the better. All right. Now, what you're going to get on this end of the lighter, you're going to get a screw for adjusting your flame height. And all depending, as you can tell here, all depending on the lighter, all depending how long these are going to be. And sometimes these are short, and they will have, like say inside of here, inside of this area, there is a sponge in there, okay? Now you'll have to clean that out. And if you can't get this valve out, see how this is kind of pressed in right here? If you can't take these apart, don't mess with them. What I recommend doing is, I mean, if the valve leaks, then you're going to have to try to take it apart. But what I would do, if this valve doesn't leak, like after you repaired it, if it doesn't leak gas, you know, through the top of this, that means your stopper's working, your stopper's okay. Because I'll guarantee you start pulling on this, you're going to break this valve. And if you do need to work on it, what I recommend is fabricate some type of tool. I use these here. I bought this. There's actually a plaster cast removal tool. I use this. What I usually do is, well, it ain't made for this, but let's just take, for instance, let's see here. I think you can kind of see what I'm doing, but I'm trying to just remove, you know, get down in there and hold that and slip around here. But this in here, it doesn't have a lot of brass on it. So you're probably going to strip that off, break it or something. And also before you do that, you want to heat around here. You want to heat around there, but you got to make sure that you're going to take it apart, because if you heat around here, you're going to, and you think, well, you're just going to use the old stopper. Well, then you're going to ruin the stopper on the inside if you heat around this. Take all your seals off too before you do that. But anyway, getting back to this. Sometimes what you have here, say for instance on, let me see if I got one laying out here, right here. What you got on this? What you got here, this and here, what you'll have here mostly on these ones, these are coming to these cheap plastic tank lighters, okay? These are the type of valves you get in them mostly. All right. And you usually got to take it off. You got to take the whole valve out from the top and then the bottom both. Okay, then you'll want to clean the sponge out of here. This doesn't have a sponge in it, but you see I got it cleaned out, and there's the orifice in the bottom. But usually what you have is that I use a sponge with a hole in it. That way if the sponge gets dirty, you know, you're still going to have a hole in it, so you can just unloosen the screw a little bit more and you're still going to continue to get gas through it. That's why I always use a sponge with a hole in it. And if you got a sponge, if it don't have a hole in it, I recommend you getting on eBay and grabbing you some of these leather hole punches. These are metric. You got a 1/2 millimeter on up to 5 or 6. Usually you don't even need anything. Usually I just use up to about 3.5 at best. But just get the whole thing. You never know. Okay, and usually after you get a sponge in, let's get back to this. After you get a sponge in here, sometimes there'll be a little brass washer on top of the sponge. Just a washer. And if you get that out, and you got to remember that brass little washer, it'll be stuck to the sponge, so sometimes you can get in there like this. And you can push down around and you can get that brass washer moved. You can kind of get it out. Then you can get to your sponge. All right. There's a little, and it's a solid flat washer. I want to show you what I'm talking about here. I think I got them here. What did I do with them? I moved them. They're just a little flat, solid brass washer. What that does is it lays on top of the sponge, so when you're screwing in this, because this is turning, this bottom here is not tearing your sponge up as you're turning. It's just spinning off the brass, and the brass is compressing the sponge tighter. You screw it down, see how it's going in, pressing on the little brass washer, and it's pushing on the sponge, which is compressing the sponge, which allows less butane to flow through it. Another thing too is when you're storing your lighter, I recommend leaving these open as far as unloose them as much as you can on your. That way, if that gets a little moisture in there and that washer gets seated down, you still got a little play room here to kind of maybe hopefully move it around and break it loose. But and another thing is too on these, let me show you something here on this. These valves, this and here's got a filler valve in it. You'll see this type of valve here on a IM Corona Pipe Master. All right, I don't have one of their valves, but these valves do come apart, all depending. It might be a little bit different. One might come apart. If it's got this type of a filler valve in it, this will come off. You're just going to have to, and I'm predicting that this is going to come off right around here. You'll have to hold this and get this and pull it up. Yeah. Then there'll be a little O-ring inside that little, right there. You'll have to replace it. But these are pretty simple. Like I said, you'll find these on most plastic tank lighters. Like I got this lighter here. I haven't even never worked on it, but let me check this out. Give you guys a couple hints too. You say, well, how do you know if you got a plastic tank lighter? Well, I don't know, but the first thing I do, if it's got a screw on the bottom, I'll take it out. Now you see that screw? That's a coarse threaded screw. That's not like a machine screw, so to me, that says it's going inside plastic. So I'm going to take this valve out here, see what we got on this. Yeah, you can see it right there, the plastic tank. It looks like there's a little metal disc down in there, possibly, like I was telling you about. Let me see if I can get it out. Sponge down in there. Hear it rattling? It's rattling. It come out because, see the hollow in the tank, it did come out, but it's rattling around in the tank now. But anyway, you notice this one here? See that down in there? That's your wick. Okay, gas comes through this hole right up through here into your flame valve. That's your wick. If you don't have a wick or cotton or something inside your lighter, when you tip your lighter around, you're gonna get a flame height that's not regulated. So keep that in mind. But you know, guys, I got lighters here, and I can't guarantee they're, plastic tanks where they're gonna leak or not, but you need a freaking lighter experiment on. If I got something you need, just get a hold of me and I'll sell you the lighter the way it is, for cheap, $5-10, all depending on what it is. And then you can work on trying to repair it yourself. But anyway, let's see what we got here. Also, too, you gotta take that. You gotta take that cap off. Well, I guess you don't on this one. This is gonna have the same type of valve system on it. I'm not gonna take this apart, but put it back together. This one here is, I noticed when I had it apart that the piezo or the piezo mechanism or something isn't working quite right. So I don't stick a lot of time in. I don't stick $100 of work in a $20 lighter, you know what I mean? So I just keep them around for parts, because I can get valves out of them, screws off of them, or maybe a piezo or level or an internal valve, for that, for some other lighter. So anyway, guys, I'm feeling like I'm leaving something out, but you just got to, get you some tools. You got, I'll guarantee you, man. There's some lighters I couldn't even work on because I didn't have proper tools. Over a period of time, you get proper tools. One tool that you absolutely have to have, say for instance, if you're working on like a Calibri John Sterling lighter or something like that, or this particular here is for like a DuPont, ST DuPont valve system. Or I think this works on I think this will work on a Zema too. I'm not for sure. The other one I got is this one here. It's got the hole in it. This is made so the solid pin can go right down inside the hole. These types of tools here you got to have, but if you're wanting to just fix your lighter or something, just you fix it, you do a good job, you use the proper quality seals, you'll probably use your tools one time in your lifetime. All right? So, you know, sometimes, guys, it's you say, well, you want, if I can understand you want to fix your lighter, that's how this whole YouTube channel and everything started for me by I bought one Dunhill roller gas lighter back about 5 years ago, and of course it didn't work, and I had to, you know, figure out how to do it and get online and read and tools, and I fought it and fought it. The hardest part on a Dunhill roller gas is getting your little millimeter by half millimeter stopper glued in there, you know, because to seat, so you know, letting it dry so it works good. You know, the companies that work on those, they just take them valves out and whoop, throw them in the garbage and stick a brand new one in there. But you know, when you got lighters like this, there ain't that option. You just don't go get a part. You know, the only way I get a part is if I got another lighter like this that, you know, I got a part off of it to put on this one. So eventually that's see, the piezo on this one isn't really working right. It can probably be fixed, but I had a part stuck about 15-20 minutes in it. I put it back together, and it's, you know, it had sand in it. Like I took it apart, it had sand in it. Sand got down in the piezo. Of course, I cleaned it out a little bit, whatnot, but it's still just, and I'm going to put any more time in it. Like yeah, there, it worked there. It probably worked, but I can't sell something that take a chance you guys buy it, you know, it's not working. So to me, it's not worth my time. This is a pretty decent quality lighter too, guys. It's got some heft in it. It's got a metal tank. It's a good quality lighter. All right, and I got a bunch of these. Sometimes I get lighters in a box come in, and I think the last batch I got in, look at that, that worked right off the bat. This is a nice looking lighter too. To me, that's a good $10 lighter there. You could spend more, but it actually feels good in the hand. It's got a nice lever on it. Anyway, and what I got you on here? I got this wind lighter in today, or whenever it was. I don't know when it was, but I worked on it. This is a pipe lighter. Comes a battery. It comes to, I prefer this lighter here over a Pipe Master. I am Corona Pipe Master. The reason is because this one takes a battery. You can go to the dollar store and get you one of these batteries here. 823. It's a 12-volt battery. You can unscrew it here. You can unscrew the Phillips screw, take the whole part off, and put a new battery in it. To me, it's easier actually just to pull that screw off. Let me show you. Lift that up. Right there's your battery. And put it back on. See, it's easier to do it that way. These are excellent lighters. I like these. These are just smooth, and they pretty well, every time you hit it, you know, it pretty well, every time it'll light. So it's an excellent lighter. I got other lighters too that I got to work on. I got some that they're just scrap lighters. Probably I might put a lighter lot together, maybe see if it'll sell on eBay or something. But sometimes what I get out of them isn't really worth it because the parts are more valuable than the whole lighter itself. Uh, well, I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Okay. Now, I get online, like when you need, when I'm talking about the orifice here, guys. Okay. So on an IM Corona, I got these off of eBay. These are what you call steel rods. I think I can't remember, the biggest one's got 2.5, but I got one here. See these here? This is a 0.5 millimeter. Now there's some orifices that this is still too big. See that? A little less than a 0.5 millimeter. And sometimes, look how thin that is. Sometimes I can't get this through a lot of lighters. It'll go through an IM Corona, Old Boy, and a Pipe Master, I'm pretty sure. But when that doesn't work, to unplug, your next best thing is, I always have this here. The next, I don't have any, I got one right here though. Get you a spring, thin wire spring. I just straighten it out. This in here, let's see how thick this is. I used this the other day. See the difference, 0.35. So this is what you're going to need sometimes to get down in there. Say, for instance, on a IM Corona Old Boy, I think in Pipe Master, you're going to, you got the little orifice here, right? And you got your sponge right here. Then behind that you got a little brass rod fits in there. What that rod does, it compresses against the sponge. Then it's got your on the Old Boy it's going to be just a screw type, but on a Pipe Master you're going to have this. You're going to have the type there. It's got the flame adjustment or the filler valve on it. And what this does, this will, when you tighten it, it'll push on the rod, which will squeeze the sponge. Okay. Now, if there is no rod in there, sometimes you'll have, like I said, a little brass washer in between there. Keep this here, because this turns, keeps that from tearing up your sponge as you're turning it. Okay, so it's pretty simple. Then you got your top part, you know, it's got your stopper in it. As far as stoppers goes, guys, I get on, there's a guy on eBay, and I bought his stoppers. This is really handy. This made, I mean, it's worth the money. Just buy them. You don't need the bigger ones like I got. I've never used them, but maybe I will. But maybe someday, like that size there, that 3.5 by 1.8 stem, it might come in handy. I don't know. And that one there, 6 by 1.5, it might come in handy down the road. But I usually use the smaller end. You know, first 3 or 4 sizes mostly. But this makes the job so much easier. Before what I was doing, before I found these, I'll try to remember to put a link to that guy's store. You gotta check his store out. I bought lots of tools off of him, you know. I bought all these tools off of him too. This here tool right here, this here tool here is to work on a, what's the name of that freaking lighter? I can't think of it now. I have a freaking, I figured I had a cramp on it, but it's a $500 lighter. I see them go $500,000. It has an extra small flame valve on that, I needed that to take it out. And this here took the bottom plate off so you can get inside the tank, rebuild the filler valve. This in here is actually for Dunhill roll gas. This is for adjusting your excuse me. This is adjusting your flame adjustment screw on the bottom. And it's got a little excuse me. It's got a little, this right here. This is to push your valve out from the top. Your valve out. Push it out through the bottom. And this here is for putting valves in, like removing the valves on a ST DuPont. This here's for an ST DuPont tool. Take a little valve out of that. And anyway, oh yeah, this in here's for a Celine hex lighter. That's what it is. This in here I bought off of AliExpress. That's actually a very good tool for taking out the large size filler valves on the Zama. And I use this other end here to take the filler valves out on a Safa 21 lighter. Works perfect. Works perfect too for those valves, those airsoft valves, the smaller ones that is. Anyway, tools, get you a Dremel. As far as tools goes, get you a Dremel, like, and get online and buy you some 4mm stainless steel tubing. Then get you a Dremel with a cutting bar on it. Then Dremel out and make you some tools. Because there's all kinds of different sizes of filler valves. This is what I kind of had before I got these smaller tools like this. Okay. And this, I can't remember what I made this for, but this was for a particular tool, or for a lighter. I made that. And this one here, I used this. I worked on one Thorns Gas-O-Matic lighter. Alright? In order to get the filler valve out, I had to use I think a 13/64 or something like that. I can't remember what it was. Let's go to fractions. Now this says 17/128. I don't know if it's that or 9/64. It might be the 960. I don't know. But anyway, what I had to do was, since these are hardened, I had to put a torch on this till it's red, so I can take the temperament out of it, so I can drill a hole in it, so I can get in there and unscrew that. This is a specialty tool. Then get screwdrivers, all kinds of screwdrivers laying around the house. And you can get online. This was a screwdriver, I think, too, and I made that into like an H screw. And I took them little screwdrivers too and made them. I use these for adjusting your flame adjustment valves on the inside. Let's see. And if you're working on like any lighter, like a Flaminaire or Flaminaire, yeah. This is a T7. You ever seen them Flaminaires? They got the little flat ones. They got look like an Allen wrench with a solid pin that's flush. This T7. What I do is I'll heat that valve open, because it seems like on them Flaminaires guys, they put a sealer on them valves, and I don't know why they do it. But they put a sealer on it. You just don't want to get in there and try to take them out. You'll be rounding out that hole. What I usually do is stick these T7s down in there on top, and I'll take a hammer and I'll just knock it in there. Yeah, it burgers up the valve a little bit, as far as it don't look clean. but when you heat it up, you put that in there and you knock it down, then I've got better luck of getting them valves out. But if you just knock that in there and don't heat that valve, you're liable to strip the inside of that valve. Keep that in mind. Get you a Dremel with all the tools. If you're going to do a flame adjustment, if you're going to do a filler valve adjustment on a Flaminaire F12, gotta have this. Alright, if you ever see my video, this is the only thing you can use. I tried a drill, I tried a file, this is it. This is that spring tension plate on the bottom. This will widen that out for your oversized valves. I've got all that stuff here somewhere, but I just don't. Alright. I got some lighters in here. I think this is ready to go. Yeah, that one's good. This is a nice little Cerrone lighter, Japanese made quality. It goes like it's a, you see it says Cerrone there. It says, well, Cerrone's out of Japan, but this one got a little knife in it. And it's sharp too. I took that all apart, cleaned all the debris out of there, you know, like lint and a little bit of dust or whatever, and I sharpened that blade up. It will polish up good, guys. Just got fingerprints on it. But, and grease that up and put everything back together. This lighter had very little use on it, but it's a very nice lighter. Especially if you just want, maybe you go to work and you're a smoker and you use a little knife once in a while, maybe cut some string or cut tape off a box, open up your box. It's a handy little lighter there. Been working on this, but I still got an issue with it. Alright, now watch this. Okay, now it goes. Alright, I gotta take it apart. I got a guy in Australia that wants this lighter, so. These are dual flame Calibri dual flame lighter. And I got a Safa 21 here. It's just giving me fits. And what's giving me fits is after it's blowing out the back and coming through your roller and heating up, it's not sealing off here good enough. And this is my last one, and this has been giving me fits. I just throw it aside because I can spend 2 or 3 hours on that stuff and never get it fixed. But anyway, guys, when it comes to this stuff, you know, you just got to take your time, guys. And watch my videos. If you watch my videos and you pay attention to the system on it, you'll see that they're just kind of like the same system as far as the principle, you know, and how it works and how it operates and whatnot. But anyway, another electric lighter here. Ronson here. That was a quality lighter back in the day. Had that marked for $65, but it's floating around, sitting around, getting scratched up. The only thing worth anything on that's the interior tank and the valves and everything like that. I don't even know if I got the bottom plate or not. But let me see if there's anything else up here. Oh. Let's see. I got some lighters here. It doesn't work consistently, but probably needs just a tune up. It's a nice looking little lighter. What's that say? Japan? Yeah, that's what I thought. It was a quality lighter made in Japan. I don't know what the name is. It's kind of rubbed off on the top, but I'll fix that up. I got a lighter here. This is a first for me. I'm going to do a repair video on that. See, this is a France gas lighter. I didn't even know what it was until I saw a Bijet. I thought, what in the world's a Bijet? Turns out it's your standard lighter, you know. Flip this here freaking thing up and you'll get a pipe flame out of it. I don't know how it works. I don't understand it. But anyway, brand new. Actually a very attractive lighter, to be honest with you. Feels good, and you can tell it's a quality lighter when you pick it up and when you look at it real close with some magnifiers on. That's a nice lighter. Oh, and plus I get your standard Zippos in once in a while, and you know I'm not a big fan of Zippos, but I got. Look at this lighter here. Works. Silver plated. It says it's a Maruman on the Haley lighter. Silver plate. Made in Japan. That's why they had dark patina on it. I'm going to fix that up. That's a nice lighter there. What we got here? Well, this is a Cerome lighter. This is actually this is a beautiful lighter, SP-5. I want to get that thing working. That's a real nice lighter too. You can tell the quality. I like the little square diamond patterns on it. Makes it easy to get hold of. When it comes to these small little square lighters like that, guys, I prefer these like this. I don't like the flip cap because it's just hard to hold and flip it open, you know. I catch myself about dropping it on the floor most of the time. But I've got several other lighters up here. Some Ronsons. I'm going to do a repair video on one of these here in the near future. But anyway, guys, I know I got off the subject a little bit, but I don't have a lot of time to put in doing videos. I just wanted to get this one out there for you guys about valves. Take your time. Don't force anything, especially if you're trying to remove a screw. Say, for instance, you got a little screw on the top of here. If you're trying to do righty-tighty, lefty-loosey, if you're doing a lefty on it and it's not loosening up, and it might be reverse threads, you might have to turn it right. Because you got to realize this is when you got a screw on top, if it's the normal threads, it could unscrew itself. So keep that in mind too. And when you're checking that out, make sure you go to a store and just get you some good little small quality tools. You want to use screwdrivers on them screws that fit right in there perfectly. Okay? Because otherwise you're going to strip the screw out and burger it up, and it's going to look like somebody messed it up trying to work on it. But anyway, I think that's all I got to say for tonight. I'm kind of tired, but oh yeah, I want to tell you what too. For old David, my friend, if you guys need some lighter wicks. Let me tell you something. You won't get a better wick than these. This is, look here, it's a Thorn size 6. Okay. And the guy's a UK seller, David 2052. Now let me tell you something about David. When you order something from David, you get it, and I'm here in the Midwest of the United States. I get it quick. It just seems like, I don't know, he just ships just quick. The best. Let's put it this way. He's always been. These are samples, actually. He sent these to me for samples because I order valves from him all the time. I need to order some more now I think about it. And if you take care of him, there's different sizes. If you take care of him, he'll take care of you. I'll guarantee it. He's a top-notch seller on eBay. All right. There's a couple guys on there I've dealt with on ordering certain things. And David is always, I said, hey, David, I said, I ordered some valves. And I said, hey, can you send me one of those filler valve removal tools? Let's see if I got it in here. Well, I don't, but it's here somewhere. Well, he sent me one or two of them. He sent me a newer one here. This one here is real good too, because the pin fits right down in there, which is really nice. This is a lot better one than the other one, because it doesn't. The one's got a big bore hole in it, and the valve wants to roll around. Here they are. See the difference in them tools? Now, that's what these are for. These are actually valves for like Veriflames, but these here valves here work on Dunhill roller gases. All right. Then there's a tool for taking out the valve on a Dunhill roller gas. Like I was saying on these tools here, these valves, you can see how this just fits over and the tool doesn't really move. You know what I mean? It stays on there. It's a very, very nice. There's some used valves from Dunhill roller gases. I think they all got the pin on them. Alright, I don't know why I keep them around. I hardly work on Dunhills, but once in a while I do. I'll get one or whatever. I like to modify it. I don't like them old Dunhill valves because they're not repairable. And there's no sense, you know. But listen, time's money. Okay? I want to spend an hour. That's why I want to spend an hour trying to work on a part, just a filler valve. I want to do that. Because I got too much stuff to do as it is, not enough time to do it. Anyway, we're going on about 54 or 5 minutes on here in this video, so I'm going to get off of here. Enjoy the rest of my evening.